Good morning, everyone. My name is Syahmina binti Shahrul Effendy from Universiti Teknologi Perak branch. Today, I am presenting our paper Fostering Active and Healthy Aging and Architectural Approach to Age-Friendly Public Park Design through Community Engagement in Malaysia. This research was conducted alongside my supervisor and co-authors and submitted to KLICEET 2026. By 2030, approximately 15% of Malaysians' population will be aged 60 and above, and this will make officially making us an aging society. Yet, most Malaysian cities were designed for younger, like economically active populations. Current age-friendly design focus almost entirely on clinical and safety like mobility, such as ramps, handrails, and non-slip floorings. These treat elderly as mobility patients rather than active participants in community life. Social engagement and mental restoration are being left behind. As this pyramid shows, existing framework address only the base layer, which is the safety and accessibility. What is missing are the upper layer, which is everyday social engagement and mental restoration. These are not abstract concepts. They are non-medical health assets that directly reduce cognitive fatigue, emotional isolation, and psychological decline. Our study aims to design for these missing dimensions. Our aim is to identify specific architectural design elements in public park that support elderly wellness through community engagement and restorative environment. We integrate three concepts, which is the first one is active aging, that focus on autonomy and confident movement, while the second one is healthy aging that focus on social fulfillment and intergenerational connection, and the last one, the third one, mental restoration that focus on cognitive renewal and sensory comfort. These three must work together. For the methodology, we adopted a non-intrusive mixed method observational design across four phases, which is the phase 1 was a systematic literature review of 41 peer-reviewed articles. And phase 2 was field observation using a click counter to track elderly users during peak morning and evening session. While phase 3 was behavior mapping that documenting movement, path and dwell time and interaction notes. While the last one, the phase 4, was environmental assessment using the restorative design scale or RDS to validate each park's restorative quality. For the observational side, we study two parks in Selangor, which is the first one is Elmina Central Park, the larger and wellness-oriented urban park within a newly developed township. And the second one is the Canal Park, a smaller neighborhood-scale residential park within an established community. These together, they allow us to compare how different spatial scale and design configuration shape elderly behavior during the activity. Our observation revealed a clear temporal pattern, which is weekdays morning recorded the highest elderly visitation, such as at Elmina, 10 out of 20 users were elderly, and this making them the dominant group because of the priority user. This is because elderly users prefer cooler temperature and lower crowd density, while on weekend evening, the dynamic shift to elderly user transition from independent health working to accompanying family and engaging in intergenerational leisure. This split has direct design implication, which is a park must serve both solo morning worker and the Sunday family equally well. From the observation, we identify a first category of design element we call architectural anchor, which means spatial feature that reduce navigational anxiety and support confident and independent movement. There are four key anchors, which are the first one, loop working path, which allow continuous movement without retracing step. The second one is clear visual landmark for orientation. The third one is accessible non-slip pathway, and the fourth one are the shaded edges for thermal comfort in Malaysia tropical climate. Areas with these anchors consistently recorded the higher dwell time and repeated elderly movement in that area. The behavior mapping from these two parks confirm the architectural anchor that we said previously. At both parks, elderly movement concentrated almost entirely along the loop pathway network. Two dominant behavior emerge, which is the first one is continuous walking along the visual connected corridor, and the second one is the passive observation near the pathway edges. Critically, even resting elderly users prefer to be near movement and activity and not isolated from it. This directly informs how we should position the seating, while the non-slip material for the flooring help on the elderly confident movement. The second category that were identified is social magnets, which mean focal point that attract diverse age group and enable spontaneous intergenerational interaction. We identify four key magnets, which are first one, inclusive playground, second one, animal feeding areas such as koi pond and duck feeding zones, and the third one is fishing spot, and the fourth one is visual observation decks. Importantly, social magnets do not require direct participation. They allow elderly users to engage through observation and share presence. This making intergenerational connection accessible without being intrusive. Like the picture, like gravity, this nodes pull generation into the same orbit. Here we can see the magnets working in both parks. At Elmina Central Park, we can see elderly users at the UNICEF inclusive playground playing with their special grandchildren or children. We can see also the activity fishing with grandchildren and joining a free weekend art class at the landmark bridge between youth and senior like a mentor-mentee. While at Canal Park, at the duck feeding and fish feeding area, we can see interaction between children and parents or grandparents, and also family picnic at the long slide. None of these interaction were programmed, while they emerged organically from well-placed architectural notes. That is the power of the social magnet concept. From all the good points we saw previously, one counterintuitive finding was isolated seating was almost entirely ignored by elderly users, even when it was comfortable and shaded. Seating near pathway, playground, and water features was consistently occupied. The lesson we get is comfort alone is not enough. A seat's value is its social and visual connectivity. Seating must be integrated into activity zones and movement corridors, not place it in quiet and peripheral corners. From all the observation, we validate both parts using the restorative design scale. Both achieve the highest classification, which is the extremely restorative. For Elmina, it scored 576 out of 760, while Canal Park scored 630 out of 760. Notably, the smaller Canal Park outscored the larger Elmina on most themes. This confirming that restorative quality is not a function of part size but intentional biophilic design. These scores also correlated directly with longer elderly dwell times and repeated visitation. The high RDS score were driven by three intentional biophilic features. The first one is water and sensory fascination through koi ponds and running water. And the second one is environmental diversity through variety planting and tree species. And the third one is shaded enclosed walkable paths providing thermal comfort. This combining all three findings, we see two distinct but interconnected outcomes, which is active aging is focused on supported by spatial anchor, most evident on weekdays morning, and healthy aging is focused on supported by social magnets that most evident on weekend evening. The same park infrastructure serve both, and both outcomes are required for a complete age-friendly design. The first is active aging that focus on supported the spatial anchors, that most evident is on the weekdays morning. And the second is healthy aging is focused on the supported by social magnets that most evident is on the weekend evening. The same park infrastructure serve both, and both outcome are required for a complete age-friendly design. From our findings, we propose three design principles which are: one, deploy anchors, means use loop pathway and clear landmark to support confident and independent movement. Two is embed magnet, means place shared activity nodes at key park intersection to enable intergenerational interaction. And three is integrate nature, means maximize the restorative design scale through layered biophilic design for mental renewal. Together, these form an actionable framework that moves beyond rhymes and handrails. To conclude, a true age-friendly design does not treat the elderly as fragile users to be protected from the city. It treats them as empowered citizens who deserve environment that actively support their participation and well-being. Our studies show that simple architectural choices like a loop path, a well-placed bench, a near playground, or a coin point along a walking route can produce measurable improvement in elderly activity, social engagement, and mental restoration in their daily routine. By integrating mobility, social connectivity, and environmental restoration, we can position the elderly as active and valued participants in everyday community life. Thank you very much.